afternoon. Welcome to the News in Brief at 4 o'clock. I'm Yvonne Okwara Matole. Let's begin with the electoral management body. Now, 1 year countdown to the 2020 general elections began today, with the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission saying it requires over 40 billion shillings to conduct a credible exercise. The IEBC chair, Wafula Chebukati, attributed the high cost to additional funding required to ensure the election is held in compliance with the COVID-19 health protocols.
Public officers who wish to contest in the upcoming general election must resign 6 months to the general election. That remains the law, and that must be complied with. So that should remove any doubt to those who think there's a judgment of the court that will allow them to work until the last day. Let them resign and go, and let other Kenyans take those positions. Election campaign financing law. Yesterday I saw some coverage on this. The Commission, in compliance with sections 18 and 19 of the Election Campaign Financing Act of number 42 of 2013, set expenditure limits for candidates and parties for the 2022 general elections.
Deputy President William Ruto's Turkish associate Harun Aydin, who was detained by police after landing from Uganda on Saturday, has been deported to Turkey. According to his lawyer, senior counsel Ahmed Nasser Abdullahi, Aydin was deported earlier today. The lawyer says he has promised to move to court to challenge the action taken by the government as due process was not followed. Aydin was arrested by officers from the Anti-Terror Police Unit on allegations of funding terror activities and was expected to be arraigned at the Kahawa Law Courts, where his lawyers had camped.
Mnajua kuanzia juzi vile wamekuwa kituzungusha. Sasa kwa sababu hii ukora ya siasa ya Kenya hii ndio mnaona sasa wameshindwa kumleta kotini, imebidi wamdeport, na sisi tunataka tuambie tu wao hakuna shida, tuko na mawakili wetu hapa, watafuata rights yenye inatakikana.
This was just a political act. Of course the government knew that Harun had no issue with terrorism or has not committed a criminal offense. We will challenge the process to deport him because deportation is done according to a certain procedure and laws. The government cannot just deport, just because someone is a friend to the deputy president. That's not an offense under our penal code. So we will challenge that, and we will bring him back to this country, whether it is this year or next year or the other year.
The United Green Movement Party has hit out at the government for lacking proper framework for entrepreneurship for the youth. Speaking after a one-day forum on youth unemployment, the party officials said the current and previous regimes have not prioritized youth employment issues. Led by the national youth leader Sialo Tasuk, expressed concern at the rate of unemployment amongst graduates and regretted that the government internship program was not offering sustainable solutions.
On behalf of the Fourth Liberation Movement, that is in line with the Constitution of Kenya, to provide for social safety nets in terms of paid internship to graduates of 20,000 Kenya shillings per month, and that those safety nets also include cash for work schemes for other unemployed out-of-school youth. 2, the university students be given a chance to elect their leaders through universal suffrage, as opposed to the delegate system that was in the Honorable Duale Education Amendment Bill. Put in place policies and education curriculum that will be market-oriented to avoid training youth in degrees that are moribund. And 4, that the education system in the country be made affordable to all young people in Kenya, making affordable accommodation for student hostel in various campuses across the country, as well as school fees, both for college and secondary schools.
Deputy President William Ruto has defended the bottom-up approach he is basing his campaign on, saying it will ensure the economy creates jobs. He was speaking after a two-day meeting with a section of leaders from Nyanza and Nakuru.
I want to say we are ready as a political class, we are ready as the economic team to work together to synergize all the resources that we have, the human resource, and the expertise that we have to make sure that the contribution we make as a region goes a long way to assist our people, and therefore the aspect of bottom-up would be able to grow our region economically and consequently politically. Thank you so much.
Today I'm a very proud Kenyan that the conversation has actually changed, and that the discourse we are having today in Kenya is not about the usual politics of alliances building, of position sharing, of power sharing, that for the very first time in the history of our country, the political discourse is about the economy of our country. You may like it or not, but every leader today in Kenya has been forced to have a discussion of some sort about the economy. And I am encouraged that the people of Kenya have forced the political class to discuss about the economy.
Kamba Girls High School in Lari, Kiambu County has been closed indefinitely following a fire that razed down a dormitory. The fire, whose cause is still under investigation, is said to have started at 6:30 in the evening on Sunday while the girls were in class. The fire was put out at around 8 p.m. with the help of firefighters from the Kiambu County government. Parents who picked up their daughters are calling on the government to help in the reconstruction of the dormitory block.
Mbili na watoto wakiscream, so we did not know what was happening. After kuangalia tukaona ni moto, ndio tulijaribu kuja tuone vile tunaweza saidia, na tukasaidia kusima moto na kucontrol watoto. The most important thing was to make sure the kids were safe, and that is what we did.
Tunaomba serikali kule juu na hapa ya county itusaidie katika kushughulikia jengo ambalo liliweza kuchomeka, kuungua kwa watoto. Na maana jengo liliugua na wazazi wakafinyika zaidi, maana maradhi ya watoto na vifaa vya watoto navyo vikaungu. Kwa hivyo na wengi ni wale ambao tulikuwa tumeleta wiki hiyo moja. Kwa hivyo mzigo ni mzito, maisha ni
na sheria ambayo ilikuwa imewekwa na the late honorable tunamuita nani? Mutula Kilonzo. Ukiangalia kwa hizo dorms unaona hiyo madirisha imefungana. Na alikuwa ameweka sheria ambayo hizi madirisha inawekwa futi kama 3 na zinabaki wazi. Hata moto ikitokea mtoto anaweza jump nje. Sasa hii ukiangalia pale hakuna mtoto anaweza toka. Hata ni bahati hiyo moto ilianza mchana 6. Kama ingekuwa usiku na unaona mlango ni moja, ingekuwa tungeongea mambo mengine.
Nyamira County Assembly has unanimously approved Dr. James Gesami as the second deputy governor for the county. The Assembly made the pronouncement during a special session that was convened by Speaker Moffat Tea. Gesami was approved by all the 34 MCAs to support him to deputize Governor Amos Nyaribo following a 6-month standoff. Gesami's nomination was rejected in March after the Appointments Committee said he lacked clearance from police and the Credit Reference Bureau. His second vetting was stopped after a citizen moved to court to block the nomination in May. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Justin Muturi, has called for thorough investigations into the death of the two Kianjokoma brothers to ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book. Speaking when he visited the family of the two slain boys, Muturi urged IPOA to make sure witnesses are protected. He also said that though the office of the IG may be right to move the two senior officers from Manyata police station, authorities need to ensure justice prevails for the family.
My call is for justice for the two young men who died in most heinous way and mysterious. The story about what happened is extremely troubling, and quite apart from the issue of witnesses, there is the body that we created constitutionally to handle complaints against the police, the Independent Police Oversight Authority, IPOA, whom I'm told are already taking action. I would only call upon them to ensure that they record as much material as possible to ensure that there will be fairness and justice in the matter. On the question of witness protection, I would want to encourage those that may have witnessed the various situations, circumstances leading to both the arrest and the subsequent disappearance of the two young souls, to come out and not to fear anything, and for the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, to ensure that their identities are not carelessly disclosed.
Let's focus on some regional news now. Rwandan and Mozambican troops have retaken a key port city from Islamist militants in northern Mozambique, the Rwandan military says. It says the city, home to one of Africa's biggest gas fields, was the rebels' last stronghold. Last month, Rwanda sent 1,000 soldiers to Mozambique to fight the militants who launched an insurgency in 2017. More than 3,000 people have been killed and 820,000 displaced during the conflict. The Mozambican armed force have been struggling to regain control of the province.